Students, today we are going to see the topic is negotiation, bargaining, and argumentation, which is in the unit 4, subject artificial intelligence. Here we are going to see first one is negotiation. A negotiation is a process by which a joint decision is reached by two or more agents. Actually, in this case, we have more than one agent, uh, that is multiple agents. That multiple agents is coming to a single conclusion by making a negotiation between the agents. Here we are having the main features. First one is, for the negotiation we need the language, because we need a language to communicate between the agents to make a negotiation. The second one is protocol. So protocol means the terms and conditions. We have some basic terms and conditions which we follow to make the negotiation between the multiple agents. Third one is the decision process. Actually, in this decision process, we have to find the position of and capacity and concession. That means each agent what it need to do, what it expect. So every agent it expects something it expects some benefit making a negotiation. If you make a negotiation, some agents getting a more benefit, some agents getting less benefit. So each agent is think about how much benefit will get making this negotiation. So this thing we have to consider. Then negotiation is having two major techniques. One is environment oriented center, and second one is agent center. In the environment center, there is multiple agents will think about their team goal. Multiple agents is going to achieve a single goal. So what will happen? Every agent will think about how to reach that goal. So it is a community oriented, a society oriented. Then we come to the second one, agent center. This technique is based on individual agent. That agent will think about how will we get how that individual agent can get a benefit. Environmental oriented means a society, how we all the agent can get the benefit. But in the case of agent centered, that agent only thinks about is individual benefit. Okay, then we see the next the what are the important attributes for to measure the negotiation. So these are all the attributes which is which measure the effective of the negotiation. First one is efficiency. Efficiency means that the agent should not waste the resource. Every agent in our environment we have the multiple agents. So multiple agent means every agent should think about how to achieve the goal, and also the agents can properly utilize the resource. That is an efficient one. If it is an efficient one, the negotiation is better. When come to the second, stability. Stability means that the multiple agents in the environment, no? So all the agents should not deviate from the goal, because the actions and the process and techniques, whatever it is, thus all the agents is going to implement all this process. That process will going to reach the goal. It will not deviate from the goal. That one is stability. Third one, simplicity. All the mechanism we are going to implement to achieve a goal should be a simple one, not should be complicated. So it's simple, should be simple and easy. Then fourth one, distribution. The process, we are going to achieve some goal or deal or decision, because we are negotiating, we are thinking about negotiation. So negotiation in the sense the multiple agents is going to achieve some decision, that is a deal that should be benefit to all. In the distribution, there are not only a single agent concentrate on the goal. All the agents should concentrate for the to achieve a goal, that is a distribution. Similarly also, the process and techniques and the task should be equally distributed to all the agents. So all the agents should participate in the process, mechanism, then only we can get the proper negotiation. So these 5 attributes should be the major important role in the negotiation. Next, negotiation is having 3 types of environment. First one is worth oriented, second state oriented, third task oriented. Worth oriented means each agent having a separate goal. So the agent is working on the its individual goal. So if it is working on its individual goal, it is come under worth oriented domains. Second, state oriented domain, that every agent in the environment is will be in some position. So every agent is we are allotted some position to every agent. So agent will think about his position and it will do a next step based on the its position. So the type of environment is state oriented. Third one is task oriented. Task oriented is overall we are finding what are the steps and what are the techniques and what are the mechanisms is going to be implemented to get you a correct negotiation. So we have to analyze the task and we have to split the task to all the agents. All the agents work together and to reach the correct negotiation. So that is the task oriented. Then we come to the negotiation mechanism environment. Here what happened, if multiple agents, actually our environment is multiple agents in your environment. So if any agent or more than one agent need any document going to download, if the document is acquired by one or two agent, means that the agents can um, make a decision or make a deal to anyone can pay the amount for the document and another one can download the document. So the task will be distributed. So one person can pay, another person can download. At the next time, if that agent that alternatively one agent can pay and another agent can download, that is the task will be distributed and the amount also be distributed. If it will do this task like that, both will get a benefit. First time one agent can pay, another agent can download. Second time that another person can pay, that second person can pay it and first person can download. So the mutually the tasks are distributed and also the amount can be distributed. So both will get maximum benefit. Next, here is that negotiation is should be a national, economically rational. How it will be national means that all the agents can work based on their deal and it can go to achieve their goals. So the every agent should maximize his own utility, then only they can reach the goal easily. Here we are using some representation, that is the negotiation set. It means the negotiation set is having the information about how the dealing is going and how the task is distributed, then how the agent is actions, set of actions. Here we have the notation TAC, that is T means a set of task, A is a set of agent, then C of X. C of X means is a cost of X. X is an individual task. T is a set of task, A is a set of agent, X is a individual task. Here we are representing utility of deal. The utility of deal of an agent. Here agent is K, deal D is the deal. Then we have to calculate the utility. Utility U K. K means agent, D means deal. So the utility of agent, that is it will be C of Tk minus C of Dk. C of Tk means T means set of tasks, that is the cost of all the tasks, minus cost of individual agent, that is a K task. Then if you minus that, if you know that utility deal of agent K means, you can minus their value from the overall value, then you will get the exact value of K agent. Here we are also representing the 3 parameters: conflict, compromise and cooperative. Actually we are talking about negotiation. In this negotiation, if you consider two agents are making a negotiation, means if both the agents is not accepting the terms and conditions of the negotiation. So what will happen? Both will be not accepting the deal. Then it will be the conflict. There's no one is accepting the deal. If no one is accepting the deal, it will be the conflict. Compromise means any agent is come to deal, is going to accept on one side. So one side, one person is accepting the deal. It means other agent can get more benefit. So it will be considered as compromise. Third one is cooperative. Cooperative in the sense both the agent is come to the conclusion, and they can get both mutually they can get the benefit. If it is in the come under the cooperative, the both can get equally benefited. That is the best one for negotiation. Second, the topic is we come for bargaining. Bargaining we can explain by the cooperative and non-cooperative method. Here we can say that is a cooperative and non-cooperative game. In cooperative game, what will happen? Generally, if both the agents or multiple agents come for accepting the deal on terms and conditions of the negotiation, both all they are mutually beneficial. If it is in cooperative nature, if they are not accepting the deal and the terms and conditions of the negotiation, both will not get equally benefit. Both will get less benefit. So here we have one example for bargaining. That the example we can say that it is a prisoner's dilemma. The name of example. The first one is non-cooperative. Here example is we have the two thieves. One is Alex and another person Pop. Both are in different cell, jail. Then police is they're asking the crime to both Alex and Bob. They will be in two states. One will be the silent, second one is in confess. Silent means there's no one telling about Bob is not telling about Alex, and Alex is not telling about Bob. Both are silent. It's non-cooperative nature. Then what happened? Police will come to the police will not get the information, so they will not give, they will not put, they will not come to the what happened really. So they will not give an exact action for that one. In second state, if Alex is in silent, Bob is confess. What happened? Bob is decided to tell about Alex to the police. Then what happened? Bob will get benefit 0, 10. Bob will get benefit. Alex will be punished. Then we come to the third stage. If Alex is in confess state, Bob in silent state, what happened? The Bob will get more punishment. Alex will get more because Alex is informed about Bob. So Bob is getting more beneficial. Alex is get more beneficial. Bob will get punishment. If both are getting in cooperative nature, means whatever happen here cooperative, based on their crime rate, they will get punished. That is, they both will get equally punished in the sense based on the crime, the Alex and Bob is get the punishment. Next, bargaining. Bargaining here we can explain by the Rubinstein bargaining model. Here what it means, two players. Here in this model we consider we have the two players. One player is giving an offer to another person. First one we take it as unlimited offers. The first one, player A, is giving more offer to the player B until he accept. That is unlimited offers. Second one, alternating offers. The player A giving an offer to player B. The player B reject. Then player B giving an offer to player A. If the player reject means again the player giving another offer to player B. This both process continue until the deal is come to a conclusion. So this model taking more time, so it is very costly. This is the Rubinstein bargaining model. Then argumentation. Argumentation in the sense, when we are going for negotiation bargaining, we have to talk, we have to communicate with one another because we have multiple agents. So we need some sentence or language to communicate with one another. Then only we can make a negotiation bargaining. For negotiation bargaining we need a argumentation, then only we can come for conclusion. Here we have the different types of argumentation. In the first type is informational argument. Belief means what we believe. If it is cloudy it might rain, that if it is cloudy means it might rain, that is our belief. This is called informational argument. Then second one, motivational argument. Something we believe, then we make a some desire in the sense what we like to do or what we like, that is a desire. If it is cloudy you want to get out and you don't want to get wet. Actually is desire. Here belief is if it is cloudy you will get rain, that is a belief. Desire means you want to go get out and you don't want to get wet, that is his desire. Then come to the practical argument. Belief and goal. Belief means if it is cloudy you will get a rain, that is a belief. Goal means you want to get out and you don't want to get wet, that is a goal. So for this reason he has to put a raincoat. So then only you can achieve your goal. You want to go out but you don't want to get wet. So if you want to achieve his goal means he has to wear the raincoat. Then social argument. Social commitments, you know that if you know the rules and regulation, laws, we have to follow that law. That is the social commitments. That is the goal and desire. Then argumentation. Here we have the different types of argumentation. Then for any language or any sentence which making the negotiation and bargaining into a conclusion. So we have some need of argumentation, then only we can give a importance to the negotiation. That is, for every argument it has some value, weightage. For some argument it has a more weightage, more importance means more weightage. Some argument is less importance, less weightage. So we take it all the most important arguments and we make it as conclusion. Then process of argumentation, how the argument is making and how we are getting a conclusion from the argument. First we are making the argument, based on the argument we are bringing the conclusion. First one is constructing the argument. How we are constructing? We are making two construction of argument, argument A, Tweety is a bird so it flies. So every bird is flies is natural. Second B, Tweety is just a cartoon. So two arguments here given. Second step we have to determine how the conflict, how they differ from argument A and argument B. So we have to find the differentiate and determine. Since in the step number 2, since Tweety is a cartoon, it cannot fly. What it means? Tweety is a cartoon means it cannot fly. So what happens? This argument A is going to false, because in the argument, first argument what we are telling, Tweety is a bird so it flies, but argument B is telling that Tweety is a cartoon. So what it implies, cartoon is not going to fly. So argument A is getting false. Then third one we are evaluating that. Based on this evaluation, part A is true. If part B is true means part A is giving to false. Based on the evaluation we have to find out that since we have no reason we believe otherwise, we will assume Tweety is a cartoon. But this means being a bird he cannot fly. What will come for conclusion? If Tweety is a cartoon, it will not fly. That is a conclusion. If Tweety is a only bird, by natural every bird is going to fly. But when come to the part B, we are going to know that Tweety is a cartoon. If it is a cartoon, it will not going to fly. So part A and part B, that is A and B, based on these two arguments, we are analyzing it and we are making it and we come to a conclusion. Thank you.